What's going on, everyone? This is Red Bull Tanker with Axis and Allies in 1914. It is the Italians' turn. It has been quite an interesting beginning to the game, and it's been quite the learning curve, learning all the differences between 1914 and the other games. So just starting out, I mean, the Austrians have made their move on Serbia, but they weren't able to take it. So in this game, you can have contested territory. So Serbia is now contested between the Austrian forces and the Serbians. Austria also went into Romania and took that from the Russians. That's pretty much the big moves for them. And then Russia is building up their front lines against the Germans and the Austrians. This is their line right here. I mean, already in the Ukraine, the Russians have put in 29 infantry into the Ukraine to protect it against the Central Powers. Oh, whoops, I didn't put a control marker on Poland for the Germans. And I haven't updated the Germans on Poland yet, so I'll have to fix that. And then for Germany, Germany won a stunning victory in the Atlantic over the British fleet, or the British home fleet here. They also made their gains in Europe in regards to Belgium. They also went into Holland as well and took that. And then in Africa, they made some exploits. They went into Angola, the Belgian Congo, Nigeria, and the Gold Coast. Oh, and then I forgot. The Austrians took their fleet and they attacked my Italian fleet, but they lost. The Austrians lost their fleet there. So that was lucky for us. France didn't do any combat. They just continued to build up their forces. They did help me by activating Albania for me. So I got 4 extra units out of that, which was nice of them. Britain activated Portugal for the French. They're kind of reeling so from the loss of their fleet. They did come down and take the Belgian Congo back, and they brought troops from India to take German East Africa for them. The British also tried an assault in Afghanistan that didn't go well and is now a contested territory. I am using these mushroom clouds to show all the contested territories in Europe, or for this game. And then the Ottomans are shifting their forces and building up. Oh, and I forgot, on the Russian turn, the Russian Navy here in the Black Sea attacked the Turkish fleet, and they both wiped each other out. So now the Black Sea is empty, and the only naval power with, in and around the Mediterranean is now the Allied fleets. All right, so here's kind of a look at the casualties so far. The Austrians lost 1, 2, 3, 4. They lost 5 infantry, a cruiser, and a battleship this turn. These 6 Russian infantry are the neutral infantry, or the neutral forces. Same with these 2 artillery, and that's for the forces that were activated for to defend Romania and Serbia. On their own turn themselves, I mean, the Russians lost 1 infantry and then their 2 cruisers from the Black Sea. Throughout their turn, Germany lost 5 infantry and their 2 submarines. Great Britain with some losses. They lost 3 infantry, their 2 cruisers, battleship, and transport that were off Great Britain. The Turks have lost their 2 cruisers, and then I lost an Italian cruiser when the Austrians attacked my fleet in Sea Zone 17. All right, so for Italy, purchases. I have 14 to spend. I'm going to spend 12. I spent 12, 6 for 2 infantry, and then 6 for a fighter. I did have 1 round of combat this turn, which was first, my battleship did get damaged during the naval action. It is now repaired, and it will come up to this sea zone and kill this Austrian transport. So that was all my attacks. Whoops. And then my non-combats. I took an infantry and artillery onto this transport. This transport went to 18, and I dropped off these 2 units in Venice. I took these units in Piedmont, sent them to Venice. Quickly back in Albania, I took my other 2 infantry and I put them on the French transport there. This infantry in Tuscany is going up to Venice. And then my forces in Rome are going to Tuscany, and my infantry here is going to Tuscany. Down here in Africa, I'm going to send my forces from Libya into Egypt to help the British against the Ottomans. And then also to help the British, I'm taking my infantry in Somaliland and bringing it to British East Africa. All right, and even though there are no factories in this game, the only place where you can deploy your forces is at your capital, unless you're Britain. Britain, you have the option of either deploying in London or here in Bombay. But since Italy does not have that option, I, deploy my forces here in Rome, 2 infantry and a fighter. And I saved 2, and I gained 2 for the French activating Albania. So at the end of my turn, I'll collect 16 plus the 2 that I saved. So I will have 18 IPC for the next turn. All right, so that is it for Italy. Turn 1, I will consolidate all that for the next turn. So there's that. But so that is the end of turn 1 for Italy. And the US is up next, so I'll see you guys in a second with the US turn.